Bum, 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 bum. Does that help? Does that? Da, 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 dum. La da 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 da. Ba ba da 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 da. All right. Well, everybody is in the house. All right, folks, give me 1 second here, and I'll get us pulled in. If I can get the bus to go to do bum 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 to do 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 to do. Hey, will someone get the doorbell? Hello, Trina. Hello, David. Can y'all hear me?
Hello, loud and clear.
Hey, that voice sounds like over the seas, over the pond. How you doing, David?
I'm all good, mate. You okay?
Doing good. Let's see.
Well coordinated, mate.
Well, I think over in the afterlife, you've got to have the look. I don't know. I think so. Is your camera working, or is it just me on my end?
What, my camera?
Yeah.
Should be. Let's have a look.
No, I think you may need to turn it on.
Yeah, there we go. There we are. See?
Well, I'm telling you. Now, you see, you and I didn't even.
I know.
Oh, that's
Wayne,
weird.
I got to tell you, last night, when you said about coming on the show?
Yeah.
Did you read my comment? Because I said looking forward to it. As I typed it, you went, look, and then you started saying what you wanted to say. If you go back and watch it, when you tell me I'll be on the show, I say looking forward to it in the comments. You'll probably perceive it as just coming straight after you've said it. You sort of go, look, and then you start saying what you're saying instead of what I was thinking.
There's something going on. I've been taking this, and so this is, yeah.
Yeah, almost. I got mine in the liquid form. I got the bottle.
This is actually, this is shields it from the EMF fields. And so this.
Right. I nearly got that one. I got the other variety.
Yeah.
But yeah, I nearly did get that one. I'll try that one next.
Well,
it's doing something.
It's doing something. Hey, Miss Trina, you have to turn your camera on, hon.
No problem. Gotcha.
Well, there she be.
Hold on, let me close the door. I'm just playing with puppy.
All righty. This is so tell me what you have experienced as he makes all these sounds.
Since taking the Ormus.
Yeah.
Clarity of thought, number one.
Yeah.
I'm always watching my thought processes every day, every minute of every day. But now it just seems to be there's no fugue. One better word. It's just clear.
That's a good word you used. There's no fugue.
Yeah, it's gone.
Yeah, it's kind of a yeah. Hey, Miss Trina.
Hi.
So we're talking about our Ormus and the metatomic gold.
Yes.
And I have a couple of PDFs that will teach people how to astral travel. And I thought that we might bring that in. And I'm going to recommend people start taking this. I mean,
I've heard amazing things about it. I want to order some too. I heard you guys both got it at the same day.
Yeah.
I was like, there's a reason for that. I'm paying attention.
Well, there's a connection here somehow. The man won't get. It's like, what was that one movie?
You know what I keep hearing?
What's that?
It'll make us all get to a specific vibration. It'll be easier to link.
Yeah, that I can agree.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I said.
I was like, I think this is important. Yeah.
The synchronicity is off the scale.
It is off the scale.
It really is. It's
getting stronger.
Oh yeah, I think that there is. I don't know. Yeah, we all do. We all sense it. We just can't define it.
I think we're learning.
Yeah.
I think the astrals. I think we're really meeting and we're learning, and I really think there's stuff going on. Yeah, I just got my whole body got covered with chills when I said that.
Well, I tell you, yeah, I don't know about you, but this is like my second dose, and yeah, I mean, there is a sensation. I don't know. Maybe it's psychosomatic. I can agree to that, but then again,
hey, when we get off today, do you have like 10 minutes, Wayne?
Sure.
I want to try something with you. I want to, and David too. I have this biofrequency generator, and I would like to send some energy, and I want to see if you can feel it and sense it, and I want to see if your plasma ball reacts.
Cool.
Yeah.
I'm all for that.
Okay, so we'll do that after.
I love experimenting. Hey, we're late, so
Okay.
let's get in there because, someone said I had.
Hold on, my dog's got a bone. Let me see.
Okay. Because, when you get us, any time together, time. What is
boom.
I saw, by the way, if you go on YouTube and watch that movie, Alien Code, mind blower.
Really?
Seriously, I highly recommend it. Oh, yes. Hello, everybody. Yeah, I highly recommend it. You should be here every day. It will do you well. And, we appreciate it. So welcome, everybody, to A Second Chance. This is our Tuesday show where Trina and I get together. Hello, Miss Trina.
Hi.
So good to see you. And today, as we typically sometimes do, we bring on special guests, people of the community, and I always love it when David comes on. We have David Barry. All of y'all see him. Y'all know who he is. And by the way, we did not talk ahead of time on the attire. It's the synchronicity. There's something there. Anyway. Welcome, everybody. Just invoking great favor upon everyone. And all right, Trina and David, hello. How are y'all doing?
Wonderful.
Oh, far out. David, how are you, my friend?
I was going to say.
You're muted, David. Why is he muted? Unmute. David. Can we hear you?
Yeah, I'm like, I don't think so.
We had him just a minute ago, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
We really did.
How about
Hey, yeah. All right.
Don't bother buying expensive headphones, they don't work.
Hey, we're working just fine. I mean, yeah.
Oh, well.
Well, so good to have you on, David. I have to tell you, I have such joy. We've never met in person, although I have been in your house.
Anytime, you're welcome anytime.
Sure, no problem. It's the only way to travel.
Yeah,
it is. So it's good to see you, David. Like I said, I look at you as one of the leaders in the community, and it's always just a pleasure to have you on, my friend.
Thank you very much. It's always a pleasure to be on, Wayne.
Well,
I love being part of the community, as you know.
Well, and I tell you, I believe we're stronger and better for it. A lot of people may not know this about you, but of all the souls I've met, I would say that you are probably one of the most well-versed and well-read that I have met. So I consider it an honor when we have someone of your status, because a well-read background is something that adds to the whole community.
Thank you very much, Wayne. Appreciate that.
Sure. Just send me the check in the mail. Just kidding. Some people actually take. Listen, tomorrow we got another special guest, Zerloff. Zerloff. I think I'm saying that right. He's a very wonderful soul. I think we're going to enjoy it, and it's either going to be Friday night, and it may most likely will be Friday night. We just have to get the time. I think we're going to be the only channel on the YouTube platform that will be having a live update from virtually ground zero in China.
Wow.
Nigel's going to come on, and It's getting weird, folks. That's all. I'll let him, and he steps into the chat room occasionally, and he leaves comments when he gets there. But folks, yeah, it's surreal.
Sounds scary out there, doesn't it?
I don't know what y'all think about this. There are, as a person who contracted meningitis, and the meningitis that I had was bacterial in nature. But when you start getting into viruses, and it's amazing because now all this information is coming out that there you have nations that have been buying apparently insurance bonds, pandemic bonds is what they're called.
I just saw that this morning.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So, and it's clearly there. I've been showing on the New World Order. Folks, this is the master plan, and it's being implemented. What say y'all?
There's always somebody making money out of somebody, isn't there? So it's all been planned. It's all been planned in advance. So you guarantee they've had the insurance plan set up, so they get paid out for it.
You got it.
Yeah.
Yeah. World War I, World War II, all over again.
Yeah, and, if there are extraterrestrials, if there are deities that are human that have advanced, I think I know why they came back in time, because they're saying you messed up,
Yeah.
So welcome everyone. The chat room is growing. I don't know about y'all, but I'm not going to buy in the fear. I just,
Oh, I'm not either. It's so funny. This, yes, it's a virus, but if you guys have the immune system online, you're going to be fine. Because literally, it's a cold. Coronavirus has been around for 30 years. Yeah. So,
long time. It's a rhinovirus. It's a direct.
Yeah, it's been around for a long, long time. Mm-hmm. So, the hype. I'm seeing a bigger correlation to the effect of, like I said, implementing a mass immunization campaign. And the thing is that if this was a true new virus that just got out, it would take minimum 12 to 15 to 18 months to get an immunization produced.
Yeah, I saw that.
So if they come out with this thing anytime in the next couple months, that this is not good.
Yeah, that's right.
And my intuition, my spirit spoke to me, and it was like, this is a piggyback. Whatever they've got going on with this new series that I think they're going to put into the populace is going to be piggybacking on the things that they've already received. And it's going to cause some major meltdowns in the physiological system. So it's going to wipe the immune system out completely. So then it's going to depopulate many because their immune systems are going to go offline.
Yeah.
I read a statistic yesterday. It's interesting. This was not planned, folks. And, there is such synchronicity amongst this community. And with many of the members here, there's almost a psychic connection being built. Hello, David. Get out of my head. But anyway, it's interesting because I'm actually going to do a show on this, that in 1981, the peer group in this case was 12 to 21, what we call the teenage moving out of adolescence. Less than 7% of the populace in the United States, this is where the testing sampling was done, had a suppressed immune system. Do you want to know what it was in 2017 in that same age group today?
Yeah.
73%.
Wow. I thought it was about 51%, but
73%.
Oh.
That means, and this is why you see all of these drug commercials on television dealing with auto suppression immune disease.
Yep. There's no safe amounts of mercury, squalene, all of these thimerosols. There's no safe levels to have in the physical body, period. End of story. And these all have them present. So this is what's breaking the immune system down. It has to be.
So I don't recommend things, and everyone can do, but I know this because David and I were talking. I've started taking this Ormus and the monatomic gold, and wow, this is some remarkable stuff. It truly is. David, you've been taking it, right?
Yeah, I've been taking it since Friday, I think it was.
Yeah.
I'm certainly noticing a difference. It kind of makes your thoughts more clearer.
Yeah, they do. It gives you really clarity of focus. I was doing the laundry. Yes, you do the laundry. And I was literally standing in the basement, and I was in another place. I mean, it dawned on me that I occupy space.
Yeah.
And just because I have a concrete wall and I'm in a basement, what I saw was the cosmos, because I am atoms.
Yeah.
Whether I'm a 16th or 132nd of the journey of entering into that point, it's remarkable, folks. Anyway.
But well, we're entangled with everything, aren't we? So
Yeah,
you're just maybe perceiving you're entangled with everything.
Yeah.
That moment. Yeah.
You know what I also see too is I wonder, like, I know that there's different parts of ourself. And you know how the quantum is showing how the particles are zapping in and out of existence all the time and they don't know where they go. I wonder if that's a particle exchange between our other set perspectives on different timelines, different dimensions. So that's we're zapping in and out of all these places all the time.
Exactly what I think, yeah.
Yeah, it's just hard to grab a hold in the consciousness, but we're doing it all the time.
Well, let's take that one step further, because you're absolutely spot on. So I mentioned yesterday photons.
Yeah.
All right, so what we call it on the quantum scale are quarks that come in and out of this reality, and that's what they say, which then directly applies there's a different reality.
Yes.
Well, that's mind-blowing. But photons, we see light, but what we don't comprehend is that light is one of a dimension that can coexist on many interdimensional levels. Yeah.
Yeah. I think light and water are like the same, and they can transmute so many different perspectives and different positions, like vapor, ice, all these different transmutations that water can do. I think light works the same way.
Yeah,
I think it does.
Light can be anything, I think. Light literally is what manifests everything into reality, is it? Because light's an effect, isn't it? It's not a thing, it's just an effect.
Yeah.
So everything you see is just little bundles of light all spinning around each other, and that's what's creating our physical reality.
I want to see if I can actually, yeah, there it is.
Order out of chaos.
It is. So, when we talk about light, and here in this case, this is a laser in the blue light spectrum. Now, if I shine this directly, I can tell you can begin to see that there's more existing in that light than just light.
Some very interesting experiments with lasers, can't you, Wayne?
Yes, yes. That
literally just felt that hit my third eye, Wayne.
Oh, well, you're welcome.
I did. I was like, whoa.
You're feeling sleepy.
Oh, don't put me to sleep right now.
Oh, must sakes alive. But it gets back to this whole point, and and the body is what? We're what, 70% water?
At least,
yeah. And it's an amazing thing, but water has an effect on light.
Yeah.
It does. And if you've ever gone fishing, you know that you can see a fish, and that fish can see you, but what you're not seeing is that fish is not actually in that spot.
Yeah. Right. Refracted light.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Elvis has come into the building. I'm hoping to meet the guy. So, but yeah, and I think that taking, if you read about this, and I've heard about this, but I just never really did. And someone wrote me and said, you really ought to do this. If you want to enhance your astral traveling, try this.
I've heard so many wonderful things about that product. I think I'm gonna try it too. I mean,
Okay.
I really have. I've heard amazing
Yeah.
things. And it's funny because
Working.
you guys are drawn to it. I'm
Yeah.
like, pay attention. My inner being was like, pay attention to this. And they're telling me, many of us, if we can get on these products, it'll increase the frequency and we'll be able to link easier in the astrals. And
Well, do you know the email I sent both of you about when I woke myself up talking in my sleep?
Yes.
I sent it to both of you. That was the morning after I'd taken my first 50 milliliter dose of Ormus.
wow.
I literally woke
Oh.
myself up. I could hear myself talking and I could think the thoughts. I had the memory and the knowledge in my mind as I woke up. So a split second. But as
Wow.
I was coming to, I could hear myself telling myself that my telomeres and codons have been activated.
Yep.
I was like,
Yep.
no,
I've
my
heard that
telomeres have
that's
been
what,
activated and my codons are ready or something like that. I'm forgetting now, time's going on. But I was telling myself that. And as I was saying it, I knew exactly 100% what I was talking about. But then when I was lucid, awake, it's gone, you know, like when you forget a dream sort of thing. But for that moment, I had so much knowledge.
Yeah. All right.
see, that sounds like direct communication to your higher self.
That's
Like,
what I
Yeah.
thought. Well,
like,
yeah.
you know, everything that part of you is so smart.
Someone
I've
will
been
ask.
trying for quite a long time to do that through the masculine and the feminine, combining them to get the
Yes,
communication
yes.
going. So I think it's starting.
Someone asked, how did it taste? It doesn't taste bad. I put it in my vegetable juice.
I probably
I
just put it
mean,
in water,
it's
yeah.
yeah.
Not
And I
bad,
mean,
eh?
yeah, yeah. And
Yeah.
by the way, David and I didn't even talk on this. You know, we communicated, and I found out that and I went, well, yeah. So I want to expand on your point, though, Trina, because I think this is where the Crystal Network could really begin to get that boost, you know?
Absolutely. I think anything that brings us into resonance on a frequency level with one another it's gonna connect us stronger because we're already connected.
Yeah.
But it's I think it's getting stronger and stronger. And I really do think that we need to find a way and a time to maybe start doing some activations of us as a group and
Yeah.
literally calling it out and calling it forth and setting intentions to make those connections, you know,
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
out
here.
traveling early this morning and I couldn't make a connection with anyone. Al says, I wonder if it'd be good with tea.
Yeah.
I think so. It may discolor it, but, you know,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, I can't see why it would not be. I mean, I don't find the taste to be bad. It's chalky a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit choky. You can put it in anything. It's not
Yeah,
a
yeah.
very strong taste to it. It's like eating cucumbers, not here and nothing, isn't it?
Where can we get this from? I got this from Amazon, folks.
I got mine from Amazon as well.
Yeah, and I'm on a recurring, every month they're going to send a new supply. And so, because I think that this is what we've needed.
Yeah.
You know what? I've been doing research on mineral and vitamin deficiencies for, gosh, 30 years. And it's mind blowing because we can't get what we need in our food anymore because all of our water is running through the streams and the creeks. And it's just everything has gone so commercial.
Yeah.
The essence of the minerals and the things that we need, it's just not available. So we have to supplement if we need, if we want to stay healthy. There is literally no other way. One calcium deficiency can break down 900 processes in the body.
Whoa.
Yeah. And then did you
Whoa.
know too, if you drink a carbonated drink, your body cannot absorb calcium for 12 hours.
Right.
I'm telling you, folks, you really need to do away with it. Now, every once in a while, when my wife and I are out and we get a cheeseburger, yeah, I like a Pepsi.
Yeah.
But, you know, but I tell you, we quit drinking that years ago. And you know what cleared up the first thing for me?
What?
Was my gastral tract.
Yep.
I didn't have any antacid anymore, any heartburn. All of those acidic issues went away.
Yep.
Someone said, how much is it? It's $28 a month is what it is.
Right on. That's affordable.
It
in
is.
the UK,
Because
I've
you
got
got to figure, this
400
is
mil.
literally food.
What
Yeah,
was it?
I got about 400 mils for about £70 in the UK.
That's about right. So yeah, that'd be close to the conversion. Yeah. So I think we should try it. Karen, I seen you in there. Thank you, all the moderators and all you beautiful souls out there. So good to have you all listening. We've been talking about this and this community of getting together a group. And I think this could be an interesting control group.
Mm-hmm.
I think if we could keep it below 100 would be more manageable.
Yeah, definitely.
Just saying. Or we could break it up into subgroups.
Yeah, it'd be easier to train a couple at a time, like say 10, 20 at a time, and then when everybody's proficient.
Yeah. And by the way, speaking of this, because we always trying to bring knowledge to the group here, there are 2 books I have, 2 PDFs. This is Astral Travel for Beginners. It's these are 2 of my go-to books. Do recommend this. There is another one here, Astral Projection, the Complete Guide. And both of these are kind of gives you a good place where if it's like jumping off the diving board the first time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you look over there and you're going, how do I do this? Well, now you can show it. So email me. And I guess we could put that up on the Crystal Network too, David.
Yeah, I'll put it up on there.
Okay. But I think that this is what we need to do. I mean,
I do too.
Totally.
If there is something changing, and we know there is,
yes,
all of us feel it. I mean, you know,
something coming.
Something coming. I you know, I don't know what, but I'm not saying it's the end of the world. I don't believe in that. I don't think the world will ever end.
No.
There have been cullings before of the population. The last one I remember was in the early 20th century. If you think about this, the first thing we had in 1914 was World War I.
Yeah.
Then we had in 1919 the Spanish influenza flu.
Yeah.
Wiped out, I think they said, what, 300 million people worldwide. Yeah. Then we had World War II. And World War II really did do the job on the culling. It literally took out the male spermoid in the population and removed that part. And you know, that's why they say that the 50s were the most prosperous years in the world.
Yeah.
At least the United States, United Kingdom, etc.
Yeah. Well, that process got rid of all of our strongest people a bit as well, didn't it? The war basically sapped all the strongest guys we had, and then all that was left then was the weaker ones that couldn't go into the war and what have you, which is why our generations now are so, oh no.
No, it's true though. I mean, they took the prime of the stock. Fighting a war that I never understood really what was the deal. Big Al says,
survived.
Al, there you go. That I'm telling you, Al, we got to get a T-shirt on that. You know, yes, I did say that. I said, stop worshiping death. All you people who believe in, you know, the apocalypse and the Book of Revelations, quit that. That's pre-programmed.
It's a script, and they want us to run it, and they've got a lot of backing behind it. But you know,
they do.
Yeah, but the truth is always going to be stronger in its essence and energy and vibration. So when we're promoting a bigger picture, a bigger truth, closer to truth, I think that energy is going to be a lot stronger than the deception. So with that, we need to just keep going because we're making waves.
Yeah,
I think we are.
I do too.
Big waves. They may have a lot more time invested in this and they know what they're doing. They've been doing it for a lot longer, but the apocalypse is a revealing of information. And that's what we're doing. We're revealing information.
Yes.
A lot of people get the 2 words confused, Armageddon and apocalypse. Right. As you know. So it's an apocalypse right now. What we do is the apocalypse. We're revealing the information.
I like that. I mean, you could say literally that mankind is the apocalypse.
Correct. Yeah.
I
And
mean,
you'd be one of the horsemen.
Yeah.
holy crap, that thought
Absolutely.
just hit me. You know what? If you took mankind out of the apocalypse, there wouldn't be an apocalypse.
No,
No,
because there would be no revealing, no
no,
awakening.
exactly.
This stuff works. You got to have laughter, folks. I mean, you know, there's a lot of people around the world that listen to us, and one thing we try to do, we try to bring you a smile on your face.
Absolutely.
That share is enormous.
Exactly. Sorry, that almost brought a tear to my eye. But it's the one thing, and Trina, you said it. They have a lot in backing them.
Yeah.
I mean, you got the New World Order, you've got every religion, all of them pushing for this climactic, I don't know what.
Yeah, I do.
You know, it's so amazing though. Since I was little, like, you know, and my guide was the Lord, and he'd always tell me, "You guys came here to be like Jesus." You know the effect that one Jesus character had on the world. Could you imagine if there was like a million of us doing the same thing? It's
Yeah.
game over.
I was meditating. I'll share this with everybody. And I was just in my quiet closet. That's where I go in my mind. And it's just a place where, you know, things, they slow down.
Yep.
Now, I don't believe in Jesus. I as a Christian for nearly 50 years of my life, I did.
Yeah.
But here was my problem was that, and I heard this voice, and it was a male voice, and it says, "I am not a Christian."
Yep. I would totally concur with that.
Yeah,
You
you
know,
wouldn't be.
I
Completely.
jumped up, my dog jumped up like, you know, what is wrong? And I said, I didn't know what the voice was. I know voices that are in the ether. And it hit me and I went, wow.
That is so absolutely in resonance with everything I know. I'm like, yep, not a Christian, not at all.
Not at all.
Not at all. A scene or Gnostic would be closer to the correct.
Yes.
Or
I heard that Allah is not a Muslim.
No.
Not an, and it dawned on me these figures that we have as guideposts.
Yes.
We've made religions of them.
Yes, and that's what they told me. Jesus was like, the Lord told me the Jesus thing is a Jesus trap. He's like,
Yes.
they've turned me into a sacrifice. They've turned me into a savior. They've turned me into all of this stuff. That is not at all what the message was about. It was about learning to ignite the trifold flame within you by balancing the masculine and the feminine within your own being and activating the Christ and being the Christ, walking as the Christ. He was like, I was a way shower. I was never to be worshipped. I was never to be a sacrifice, never to be a savior. He's like, I was a master.
Master, yeah.
I went to Tibet. I learned how to master Kundalini energy. He was a master and a master healer. So if this was a normal being, but from what I was understood, he was genetically born with a little boost. Modified a little bit, so he was more connected to his powers from the time he was born, and I think actually he hurt some people because he didn't know how to use that stuff at first.
He killed someone, didn't he, when he was 13?
I think so. Yeah, I do think he killed. Yeah.
Yeah.
So these powers are real, and I've seen people do amazing things, and you as a faith healer, you've seen, Wayne. You've seen this. I mean, when you see this stuff, you know it really is obtainable.
It is.
Yes.
I know I connect to a higher source.
Yes.
Whether you want to call it Jesus, whether you want to call it an angel, whatever.
I think it's you.
It may be. I don't know.
It's you. It's the higher you that is like a Christ. I think we all have this.
It's the you that's in the old time that's already there, manifesting back here, giving you a helping hand out.
Yes, it's you.
My wife told me the other day, I mean, because when I lay hands on you, it and she says one thing about it, they're not cold.
Absolutely. And that's you. I know it is. I know it is your higher the highest part of us that we're starting to reconnect to.
Yeah.
I think in the old, they talked about before Adam and Eve felt they could directly hear God. Wayne, that's what we're doing.
I think so.
Doing it. We're doing it. We are connecting to our part of us that knows God directly.
Yeah.
And then, go ahead, David.
I was just wanted to say, with the religion thing and the Jesus thing, I come from a totally non-religious perspective. I got kicked out of Sunday school because they took my first ever time saying I was the son of Satan. Don't ask me what I did wrong, but I'm guessing I was questioning everything, and so they're like, "Get him out here. We don't want him here anymore." So I've had nothing to do with religion my entire life. I praise no one. I've never wanted to praise anything.
The demon seed.
Since studying the esoteric, and then trying to explain that in layman's terms to non-initiated people, they start saying that sounds just like religion, or they start saying to me, "You just sound just like Jesus, whoever." When he was speaking, I'm like, "No, I'm just trying to convey to you something that I know. I've learned. Now I know it. I know it. Now I'm trying to pass the information on to you, but you haven't done the esoteric studying, so I'm trying to explain it exoterically to you." And they say that sounds just like religion. So for me, from a non-pre-programmed perspective, it seems to me that religions possibly started as well as a manipulation, but also just from people trying to explain the esoteric exoterically.
Absolutely.
So people are like, "This guy's amazing. He's trying to describe God to us." And obviously, from the lower consciousness levels, to them, it probably was at the time. Same thing with Christianity. I learned when I first came out, the Christians were called minutes. And a congregation of minutes were called an hour.
Wow.
So I'm wondering, like, with the time, how we word it, what was 60 minutes in an hour? What were they doing?
Wow.
Well, listen, I'm.
That's all I got on that one. But yeah, that's what
I think it's spot on.
Yeah, I think it's amazing. Wow.
I think that. Let me tell you, I belong. There's a bulletin board, and the thing that was being discussed is that if Christians knew how many witches were actually practicing right next to him in the Sunday pew, they would probably have a heart attack and fall out and have to be raised from the dead. It's an interesting thing about Christianity from the Gnostic point of view. The early Christos were witches.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
too, religion too, all the ceremonies, those are rituals. This is one of the only places did you go to actually go and participate in ritual, that and football games, sporting events. And now the rock concerts and, the celebrities, that now is another form of ritual. And with the celebrities, there's worship, big worship on false idols going on there. So all of these things have been put in for us to literally be brought into sin, because you love your music artists and you love them, and but literally it is worship. You need to understand that everything is trying to bring you into worship of something outside of yourself. So we need to learn that it's okay to love and appreciate and bathe in the creativity and the beauty of these things, but understand that it's all coming from the well of the source that's within you. It's all connected, and we need to connect to each other through that well of source that's within us, so we can balance out this planet, because holy macaroni, we're in for it.
Someone wrote me today, and it was very observant. I know you're a wizard. I'll have no and a god. So Baal, Baal, the god of the Mesopotamians, goes back further than that. But isn't it interesting that in the event of sports, and what most people don't think about, the Romans knew it, the Greeks knew it, is that when you bring like 50, 100,000 people together in an event, there is a collection of psychic energy. Now, if it's a violent sport, it's going to be a violent energy.
And Wayne, think about it. Every single one of those sporting events require a ball.
Football, baseball, Basketball.
Require a ball.
The Lord ball is everywhere. I mean,
Yeah.
and the UK, y'all have soccer, right? That's football.
Football. Yeah.
Isn't soccer? I think I'm not a big fan of soccer, but I believe it is the #1 world sport, right?
Yeah.
I think so. I'm not sure. I hate football. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
See? And-
it's more watched than the NFL and what have you, isn't it?
Pardon?
It's more watched than American football, the NFL and what have you, isn't it?
Yeah. I'm not a big football fan. But it dawned on me that suddenly we never understood what these stadiums are really doing.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, folks, if we could see the full spectrum, we would see them feasting.
Absolutely. But if people
anyway,
become aware and they know what's happening at these events and they start to give that energy and that power back to the divine mom and father of, start to actually intentionally focus this energy and not give it away to let it be harnessed, because that's what they're doing. They're stealing it. We create it and they harness it. They grab it because we don't have any direction for it. So if we have intention or direction where to put our most powerful emotions and most powerful vibrations, we're going to start hitting the target instead of missing the mark.
Yes. Yeah. People are going crazy in the chat room. Volleyball, had never thought about that. And hockey, you use a puck. Yeah. It just kind of tells me, I don't think ball ever went anywhere.
No. I don't either.
I don't think so either. I think this cat is still here.
I think this is his realm. I think this is his realm.
I think you'd be right.
I do. That's why I was like the Jesus, the balls, the lords, anything of this construct is a copy, imitation, false, and you're going to get trapped. Because you're giving your power away to a false God. Inevitably, if you're giving your power to anything in this third dimensional matrix and not realizing what it is, you're going to be caught in the trap of giving your power away through agreement.
And it is. I mean, doesn't
take me down to sleep.
Take my I pray my soul to keep. What? I don't want no taking my soul. I mean, but even when you think about the religions, when you enter into the religion, you're entering into a new covenant. You have the old covenant. Covenants are contracts. I'm going to do a whole story on how we can free ourselves from these legal contracts. I'll share this with you. In my awakening period, boy, that was a rough time. I knew that the spirit realm was real. I've known that all my life. It's not a surprise to me. What I wasn't sure of was the hierarchy. But there was a time where I literally held court in my dining room because I realized that I possess the physical. I have connection to the spirit realm, and if I can acknowledge a hierarchy in the spirit realm, well, then I could hold court right here in the physical realm, right? Well, I took my oppressors to the universal court, and I brought the charge against them. It was amazing how things within about 6 months turned 180 degrees around.
Yeah, because you took back your authority and your power. That's profound, Wayne.
I was the prosecutor. I prosecuted them. And I literally had legal pads that I had to make my argument on because I was under the contract of the God Yeshua, Jehovah, and they are very legalistic.
Yes.
Anyway.
I had to break my contracts too. I had to rebuke all that Jesus stuff. That was the false Jesus thing because I eventually, when I was a child, my relationship with the Lord, he looks like Jesus, and I'm pretty sure that's why they're using this image because they look the same to me. But as I got older, it started to transmute into the religious dogma Jesus. And that's when he was like, you're screwed. It's like, what? He's like, that's not me. And that's not me. And I was like, yeah, you're right. He's like, that's the Jesus trap. And I was like, what is that? And that's when he started educating me on false idols and the construct and how it's not, don't give your power to anything in this construct. You need to reconnect to your power within you. He's like, this connection that I have, he says, the only way it happens is if you activate it within you.
Yeah.
And that was always his message, was you came to be like Jesus, being the way shower, the healer, the one who could make mountains move. But it would be a group of us, and it was about activating this power within you, and it's what everybody has. Every one of us has.
I'm telling you, if we get together on this, and the thing about it is that, well, people could say, well, this is almost sounding cultish. I don't think so. What we're trying, I rejected the world gods. There's nothing that they can give me. I don't want wealth. I don't want fame. I don't want power. None of that has any allure for me.
Me neither.
No.
Yeah.
I don't want a following. I don't want none of it. I want people to do their own work, because once we come into our own power, that's when we can connect as a group to the same resonance, same vibration. And that power is a highly activated being, because when you do this inner work, and like David was saying, you're connecting the masculine and the feminine. That is the great work. It's your internal battles. You're fighting against your programs. So that's what we're doing. We're breaking apart our own programs. We're not putting new ones in. We're breaking apart the ones that are holding us bound.
Yeah.
Boy, and it's just resonating with me really strong, is the fact that if people could just understand the materialism that they have brought in as the new gods. I love what Simon and Garfunkel, we have really made the neon gods these new gods. And materialism, my spirit guide, I'm really looking forward to meeting her, or because I used to think it was a male, but I'm beginning to think more and more that there's a stronger feminine anyway.
Yeah.
As
just different percentages. I think they're both just different.
Probably are.
Times you need it.
Yeah. Anyway, she said, consider materialism like the chains that weighs down the soul.
Yeah.
And the voice told me that this is why so many souls don't make the transition to the plane that they're supposed to be on.
Yes.
Yeah, so obsessed with the material.
Thank you, sir. Yeah.
Yes.
Everybody's obsessed with the material, with phones, everything. Go on, Trina, sorry.
Yeah, no, you're fine, David. I was going to say too, and I think this is one of our deepest programs, because our materialism has been now attached to our safety.
Yeah.
So that root now is going really deep into the psyche, because it's directly associated with survival.
Yeah, it all comes from the ego.
That's what, when I was homeless, and that meningitis literally killed me, but the years that I was homeless taught me so much. It never shrank my dignity. Never did. But it taught me I don't need things to be happy.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been there myself. I've been unemployed, on dole, and not had any food for a week. I'm not proud. I've taken chips out of a bin once in my life. I was that hungry. Teaches you humility, doesn't it?
Yeah. When I was 15, when I was out my own, no one cared. I lived in a trash bin, for a couple of days. There was no other place, it was cold.
Yeah.
But
wow.
And what my guide was telling me was that, and this is what I heard while doing the dishes last night, you have excelled on that which you set before you.
Oh, that's
and I went,
beautiful.
wow.
That's good. Yeah.
And
wow,
I said,
that means you've bypassed all of your goals for your soul's evolution in this lifetime.
all I said was far out, and Lynn was in the den, and she said, who are you talking to? I know you're talking to. Anyway, but I think it's true for many people in this community. I see it in the people's words. I don't know many of these people personally, but I can sense it.
So a little phrase always springs to my mind on that, when I had a little epiphany ping one day, that the old expression, the meek will inherit the earth. Well, that's because they haven't got anything now. So when everything goes tits up, they're already there.
Right.
Either
Yeah.
that, or they're just not in the materialistic trap to start
Well,
off
and
with. So they
that
may be
makes
homeless
sense.
and have next to nothing, but their soul and their spirit is probably freer than most people's.
That totally makes sense, David, because think about it. The people that are so completely controlled by the material world, when it crumbles or falls apart, they will fall apart because their complete reality will disintegrate, and
Yeah.
they'll be the protesters and the out of ruly, and they'll be the ones that get taken away. The ones like us, we're going to be like, yeah, it's fine. It's all
Yeah.
good. We'll be cool. It's no big deal. And
Just
so
another thing.
it won't be our end. We'll be like, oh, okay, we'll navigate through it.
It's a
You
new
know?
beginning, not an end.
Yeah, and we'll
Yeah.
be fine. I think you're absolutely spot on with that. That's huge. That's a huge revelation. I see how a lot of this is going to go down.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you,
We've already been told thousands of years ahead how it's going to go down. It's just picking the bits out.
Yeah.
agreed. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I could write it down for you, but I don't want to get killed.
This is why we have to meet in the astral realm.
Yeah.
I'm
I
working
think
on it.
that's how we manifest in the physical realm is we have to do it there first.
Yeah, it is. It is
Part
totally.
of the process. Yeah.
Yeah, when you're in the astral, whatever it is you want to manifest, you have to learn how it is created in the 3D environment. So imagine it from the outside, the inside, looking at the insides, all these sorts of things. Get that vision in your mind in the astral. I haven't quite worked out how to get it into the physical 3D yet, but in the astral, I can manifest whatever I want now.
You're building a house, aren't you?
Yeah, castle. It's like
A castle. Yeah.
I can't really describe it properly, but it's like an Oriental style castle with a couple of floors to it. And I'm literally every beam, every rafter, every nail, every splinter before it gets built in my mind. You know, like a Lego movie? Has anybody ever seen that? Where you just look at that, you see all the bits and pieces. In my mind, I'm seeing all the elements of the ether or whatever it is and combining them all together from the inside, outside, looking all the way around it. And then literally it's like, that bit's done. Move on to the next bit. It takes ages, you know, just like one beam will take a night sort of thing. But yeah.
Wow.
You know where I'm at now?
I want it to be somewhere safe for us so that we can all go.
Yeah. I'm in a classroom now. I can't get out of it.
Oh, right on. I went through a long time where I was waking up in the classroom almost every night.
I have a blue ball that's in front of me, and damn it, I can't. I'm supposed to be doing something with it, and it's had me stuck here for a little bit. I'm literally in a classroom. I mean, I can't get out of it. And I'm sitting at this. It's not a desk. There's, when I look at it, it's like I'm looking at a tabletop of the stars. There's infinity there, but there's this blue ball, and I'm supposed to be able to fashion it, and I can't get it up off this plane anyway.
I heard merge with it, Wayne.
Merge?
I heard merge.
Okay.
Merge with it. Ask it how it wants to connect with you, because I'm hearing you must connect with it. So merge somehow.
Thank you. I'll look into that. It's been frustrating because I see it all the time, and
outside of us when it's really inside. That might be it. It's the illusion that it's outside of you when it's already inside of you. I'm literally hearing this and they're laughing. So I think we're on to something.
All right.
Like there in the Matrix, there is no spoon wing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There is no ball. The ball's inside you. I just
it's like, when I and we all know the steps when you make that leap, it's for me, it's falling into this black hole. It's this what it's like for me. And then I'm in this classroom and there's no one else in there. It's just me. Yeah. David, you need to come in, and you and Trina, I think we can maybe get some of this thing going. But anyway, thank you on that.
Over your shoulder then and gave you a helping hand.
That's so funny. It's like Wayne, like you're telling us about that, and then like we can hear different things about it. That's what I mean. I really think we're already doing these things, and we are. It's like you gathered that information and then brought it forth, and then I'm like, oh, this is the next step. And I
Yeah.
think that's what we're doing. We're literally helping each other in so
Yeah.
many different ways we don't even comprehend how big.
You were asleep, Trina. I was there trying to get you and Al. I was, I can actually. Hey, Darlene, how are you doing, my dear? You guys, I couldn't connect to you. It was like, and I'm back in this class again, and it's like, okay, what the?
That's awesome, though.
Yeah, yeah, it's kind of cool. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to practice that. Is there anyone else that is there? I mean, I can't be the only one that this is happening to. I know, David, you're having travels. Trina, I mean, I'd like to see where the group is at.
I went to a place a little while. Go ahead, David.
The people with the crystals from Karen, we should be able to connect a lot easier than anybody else because we've got the energetic connection between those crystals. They all came from one node originally, so they're all still energetically linked. Yeah. So hence, that's where the networking part of it comes from. I sleep with my crystal I fall asleep with my crystal in my hand every night. One hand on the other one Karen said, the pendulum, one hand on the power crystal. If everybody starts doing that, sleeping literally with a power crystal in their hand under their pillow, somewhere close by their aura, I think that's how we'll all start really, really connecting.
Literally, bingo. Bingo.
Cool.
That's awesome.
So if you've got a crystal, sleep with it. If you haven't got one, get one if you want to be involved.
Yes.
Yeah. That's a good idea. All right.
Sorry, Karen.
I know I think it's one of the master. I don't know what Karen calls that, but it's right here in this office all the time next to me. So I'll start. I can see my wife rolling over. Like, what the hell?
Right? The aura goes out quite a bit. So even if you put it on your bedside table, it'll be in your field.
Cool.
Yeah. It'll be in the field. Yep. Because our field goes out a few feet, like 3 to 5 feet, 6 feet.
Quite wide.
Karen says, I sleep with mine and several others as we are meeting already in the astral. Excellent, excellent, excellent. One person said, I see keys.
Oh, yeah.
That's kind of cool. Yeah.
And when I do the soul retrieval, I've been the key holder, but then I've also seen other key holders in the astrals, and they're literally key holders, and they open the gates.
Cool.
I'm going back to Ghostbusters. I am the key holder. And I mean, they were telling us something about that. It was in the script, but people didn't realize it. I
forgot about that one.
Yeah. They had to have Rick Moranis was the key holder.
That's right. I completely forgot about that. So you just wow.
And if you go back and watch that movie, it gets even stranger because the demon goddess, she's a goddess.
Yes.
Yeah.
And what was the first thing she asked the Ghostbusters? Are you a god?
Yeah, you gods.
That's right.
Folks, if you go back, you'll see the keys they were giving to us.
Yeah.
Boy, isn't that sure.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We're figuring it out. And I do think, Karen and David, they said they've been seeing each other on a craft.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a good story.
I'd love to hear it. So, you're here. What's going on here? I'd like to hear this.
I'm not sure if we're ready for this one yet. Basically, when I was younger, I'd say 19, 20, I had my very first ever lucid experience in a dream. I woke up on the deck on the bridge, I guess, of some kind of spaceship. You look out, I could see space in front of me. I could perceive what it was like from the outside as well, so I obviously must have been going into it at some point. As I looked to my side, I could see a female. Couldn't tell you what she looked like, but it was like she didn't know that she was there. I was lucid in my body, but I couldn't control anything. I couldn't say anything. And apparently it turns out that I was on board a ship that Karen is also on board. Mm-hmm. And so that I was actually really there. It wasn't just a dream or a lucid dream. I'm actually there and here.
Mm-hmm.
I can see that.
Yeah, the David, didn't you ask Karen if I was on the ship? And she's like, no, she's on the other one.
Yeah, you're on the smaller ship, aren't you, Trina? You're off zipping about doing your little thing, and we're on the command ship.
Yeah, yeah. And,
Well,
and,
now
and
that's just cool.
So basically, we're all projecting here to do whatever we're doing here.
I believe that. I'm convinced of it. It's there's a purpose. There's there is a pattern.
Yeah, but I believe it's to be an example in your community, and in just to be how we are, just to set an example. Like Trina's saying, with all the Christs. I was meditating after doing studying about a year ago. I don't know if anybody else, you, Wayne, Trina, yourselves. The thing, the light went on, I realised that we all have Christ within us.
Yeah.
That amazing feeling when you have that sudden realisation, that epiphany, that enlightenment. Shit, I'm the Christ. We all are. Every single human is. It's just you need to realise it. You need to comprehend it.
And it is the Christ message. I mean, the thing that resonates with me, I heard this. He said, I only gave one rule, and that is, do you love yourself?
Yeah. He gave the 11th commandment, and it covers every single one. That's what he told me. He says, I gave you one commandment, the 11th. Love yourself as you love your neighbor. It's unconditional love across the board. That's it. He says, and if you follow that one commandment, he says all the other ones are already in it.
Yeah.
And the reason for that, I believe, is because we are all the same. So by loving yourself, you're loving everybody else the same.
Yes.
You know, your mum, your dad, your sister, the stranger in the street, the person who's wronged you. We're all the same, whatever consciousness entities. So we got to love each other the same as we would love ourselves, because they are you.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm hearing it in this. The revelation I got last week was that this body is a temple.
Yes.
And only a God can inhabit a temple.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, look, King Solomon's temple follows our body pattern, doesn't it?
Did y'all get that?
Yeah.
Only a God can possess a temple.
Yes. That's what he would explain.
If that doesn't want to make you kind of get out there and dance, I mean, come on.
Explain to me, like the Be Like Jesus was about only you possess your temple. And it was like you are as a God, the Christ, have embodied into a temple, and this is your temple. And he's like, you can do all different kinds of things within this temple. And I was like, wow. And that, because I was like, how are we going to be like the Jesus? I would like, break it down. How? He's like, it's already in you. And then, like David said, when you realize this, that's all it takes. And you're activated because you have gone through the great work. You have made the 2-1. You have married the flesh and the spirit. And that's all it is.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
This is far out. I don't care what I mean, if nothing else today, if we've done something for this community, and that is the simple act of love.
Yes.
Yeah, totally.
I call it favor, because sometimes love can be amorous, sometimes love can be, but it's no doubt, whether it's favor, whether it's love, it's still that overwhelming, binding.
Yeah, beautiful golden ray of sunshine.
Far out. Well, I know y'all ain't going to believe this, but the hour has come and gone.
So
that was great.
We time travel, folks. There's just no doubt about this. This message has injected. One of the things I have really enjoyed about our new friend Michelle in South Africa is that Michelle sees the positivity, the love that comes from this community. As she keeps saying, it's reaching out all around the world.
Good.
Yeah, that is the goal here. It's not a religion. It's not a. It's if anything, it's just being you. Learn to love you.
Yeah.
They can never bring a charge against you in the afterlife if you love yourself.
Yeah. You're just trying to do your best. I mean, it's all about intentions. What were the intentions behind the actions? That's why I said we can't judge intentions unless we're in that temple, because we don't have the perceptions of that temple. So we need to start to give a little room for everything, because everybody's trying to find their way through this, and it's going to be expressed in a billion different ways.
Yeah.
I tell you, folks, I've got a feeling deep inside. Oh, yeah. All right. All right. I'll close out for everyone. David Barry, get over there. I've left the link to his YouTube channel. Come on, folks. Listen, Trina and Brian, Milky Way Messenger, Karen, all the rest of them. This group alone can boost up each channel, and that's what we should do. You need to subscribe, put it on there, because I'm not always on there. Trina will be on, Dave would be on. This is what brings us together stronger. So anyway, the links are down below in the information box. I love you two. You're just like family, and I love this group. Y'all are just the best. And Big Al, we love you too. And, Julianne, our resident, and Karen, and there's just so many. Eric and Darlene and Brandon and True Helper. I mean, yeah.
It's so cool too, Wayne. Karen just carved me a crystal of duality.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
We got to get Karen on here and get this thing in a little community and get that thing, built up.
I think it got pushed back for a little bit for a reason. And like I said, I think
if everyone starts taking this, I got to tell you what.
We're going to link harder and harder. And that's what I'm seeing is we're getting more and more and more connected. And boy, guys, when we set forth an intention with one heart, one breath, because once we connect, we literally, we go into resonance with one another, and our hearts beat the same exact beat. And once we can get into these rhythms through our heart, we can manifest beautiful things.
Yeah.
I agree.
All together. Yeah.
Yep. Yep. All right, folks. See y'all tomorrow. We got a guest that I don't think Zarlef, he's only visited here. I saw him, and I think that I'm just getting into where he's coming out. All right, folks. Have a great day. We love you all. Much favor to you. You two stay with me, and we'll talk to you soon. All right.